Hey yo my people, it's your guy, the Roadside Scholar, bringing you Story Stellar. Join me each week for some epic roadside tales where we dive into some relatable moments and memories together. Let's turn our experiences into growth and find the wisdom in our journey. Are you ready? Let's go! In one of my previous episodes, I mentioned a person called Bucky, who I had previously went to primary school with. We're gonna name him Bucky just for the occasion of this story. Now, Bucky would occasionally chill with us in the school playground, which is also talked about in my previous episode, The Playground. And he was someone who was always in the mix of things. He was always getting jumped and was always the one fighting when he came around. So one day, I asked him, why do they always choose you to fight? And he said he doesn't know, but he's just tired of it. After that conversation, we became friends. It got to the point where we started hanging out together. Bucky knew a lot of people. He got about. How he got about, I don't know. He was popular and he knew a lot of people from out of the area as well as in the area. So the next group of people was introduced by Bucky, and these people were the Thatched House crew. Now when I say Thatched House crew, I don't mean a certified gang. They were just a bunch of teenage kids at the time just hanging out. They weren't known to anyone as Thatched House crew, but I'm referring to them as the Thatched House crew just for the purpose of this story. So there was one guy who we will call Chubby. Now Chubby was the guy who everyone went to. His house was the house that we all chilled at. His mum was cool with us being there. I guess she was the type that was a believer in, I would rather know where my child is and rather not know where he is. And so she didn't mind him inviting his friends. Within the Thatched House crew group, everyone was slightly older than me and Bucky. I think there might have been one person who was the same age, but he never came around much. But me and Bucky, we were the youngsters in the group. Now at this point, I had started smoking. Once I had given up football, I went down the road of smoking weed. Not cigarettes, but just weed. And also occasionally drinking. Now drinking I got from my mum because my mum was from a Christian background. So now and then they would give me wine. So I got the taste from having the wine. And then the other side, when it came to the smoking, dad's side, as he was Rastafarian, and I was actually, when I was younger, Rastafarian at one point. And so it was kind of embedded in me. And going to my dad's on the weekend, I would meet with my stepbrothers and sisters. My older stepbrother would introduce me to that type of habit. So he would pluck leaves off my dad's weed plant and then he'll stick it in the microwave and then it will go all crispy and then he'll mix that in cigarette and then he'll share that with me and then we would smoke it. Anyway, back to Thatched House crew. So one of the things me and Bucky ended up getting involved in was fighting a lot, as usual. And the older guys, they would always get me and Bucky to fight all the time. When we come around, yeah, you two fight, go on, mix it up. We would just start fighting. But I wouldn't say we would start fighting. The sad thing about it was Bucky never used to fight me back. He would never fight me back. He would always let me just punch him up all the time. He would let me punch on him. And it's only later on I realized that he was actually the stronger minded one. He was the one that wasn't being peer pressured into doing whatever they told him to do. But when they was telling us to fight, he wasn't listening to them. But it was me. I was listening to them and I'm fighting with him and I'm punching him up. He never reacted to that. He was the stronger minded one at that time, and that was a lesson learned. But also what I realized later on in life was that after all that intimidation and bullying that they did because they were older, or I don't know what it was, but I had never seen them actually put to the test themselves. I had never seen them in a fight or anything, never. But when you look at the truth behind it, I was just looking for acceptance. That's the reality. Whether I like it or not, I was just looking for acceptance. I was looking for real friendship, but I was looking in the wrong places. That's the problem. I looked in the wrong places. So instead of looking in the right places for the right friendships, I was looking in a place where I found kids who had their own insecurities and who wanted to prove a point to each other one way or the other. Although they didn't realize that themselves, they didn't know better themselves. We were all troubled kids in a way put together which would only bring negative emotions, thoughts and actions. But being with Bucky, I got to bump into certain individuals along the journey. Such individuals like Spray and Crons who star on the RTM. Got to meet them too. Now bear in mind, there were a few of us present in the group who were present, sitting and watching as things go along, as things would happen. And they would sit and watch in the the background, who I would actually become more familiar with later on down the line when I go my separate ways with Thatched House crew. But that will be in a later episode. The gem we're going to take away from this today is make sure that you pick your friends wisely. And be sure that a friend is a friend that shows respect and appreciates the respect you give in return. A friend is someone that values your company and doesn't take your company for granted. Like, subscribe, please share. I'll see you in the next episode. Peace.